Okay, good morning, Angelina. Today we are going to work on muscles to stabilize the stomach muscles. You have a six pack, you have really, really strong abdominals. Our issue right now is that the connection from the back muscles to the stomach muscles, even though they're both independently very strong, they're not connecting. So today I want to work, you'll need your little ball, and we'll work some stabilizers and we'll get our abdominals working, but in more of a 360 instead of a linear fashion. So we'll start with the ball. And I know in the past when we've done pelvic tilts and just some very basic exercises, it has hurt unless I've actually put my hands on you. So we're not going to do any of those this week until next week. So for this week, I'm going to give you a little abdominal workout that I want you to do at least every day, okay, at least once a day until I see you later on in the week. And then we'll progress from there because we want to get more of more strength. Even though you're very strong, I want to get that connection so that when you are spinning around and doing all the amazing things that gymnasts do, you're not going to go into hyperextension to get into a position. So we're going to work with what we have. So the ball, line your back, place the ball between your knees, and we're not going to squeeze it. I just want you to feel it there for a moment. Now, I had you do plops before. You can do them unless it hurts, okay? So with the plop, we want to feel our sacrum. And the sacrum, again, is that fused vertebra just at the top of, just above the tailbone, right at the top of the butt crack. All right, so we find that spot where it doesn't hurt. And our weight is on our hips and between our shoulder blades. Even though the waist can touch the ground, we're not jamming it in. We don't want to hyper press that down or anything. With the arms, we're going to slightly, like at a 2, press the triceps into the floor. And what this is going to do is turn on the little fibers in your upper back. Keep your head neutral. If you want a pillow, you can put your head on a small pillow. So I'll walk my feet in so that they're in line with my knees. And then without moving your hips, let's take a couple breaths into the hip bones. We talked about the hips moving. And then when you exhale, think about the hip bones narrowing. We talked about the pelvic floor in previous videos. So as we inhale, we open it up. As we exhale, think about pulling in the pelvic floor muscles, the back, the middle, the front, and narrow the hip bones. So we'll do about 4 breaths that way. So as we inhale, the hip bones open, pelvic floor opens, and as you exhale, start to pull in the back, the middle, the front pelvic floor, feel the hip bones narrow, and then your ribs can slightly drop, and you'll feel your waist getting nice and small. Do 2 more breaths like that, just to prime. This should cause no tension in your back or your neck. And again, you can press those triceps down. You'll forget about it eventually, and that's okay. All I'm trying to do is get the pump primed so that the right muscles come to the party. All right, now let's just relax everything after this last exhale and then relax. Okay, so now let's get back into position. So we're going to engage all of these muscles at about a 3 out of 10, okay? So do a breath. Exhale all those muscles, pelvic floor, front of the hips, ribs drop. Now, on your next breath, you're going to keep it about 3%, just at a 3, okay? And then extend your right leg. And as you do this, you do not want your hip to move. Now, notice how slow I'm going. The slower you go, the more muscle fibers get a chance to say, hey, I want to come to the party. Now let's do the other leg. And just doing a couple. And it takes a while to do the shift. If you're doing it fast, you're going to miss that little shift, that little connection. So we're going to do 3 on each side. All right, we're going back to the right side. This is where it gets hard. So you got to keep the stomach active. Keep it there. Then the left, and you'll feel some muscles kicking in. You're like, hey, I thought this was going to be easy. Lower the right, lower the left, lift the right, lift the left, lower, and lower. Now I'm going into a little extension here because I'm getting lazy. So I've got to really draw my stomach muscles in. So just make sure as you do this, your abs are active. I'm going to reverse it now. So we'll bring the left leg up first and then the right. And you can just tap. You don't have to put the whole foot down. And one more time. I like exercises where you shouldn't have to do a whole lot to feel it. Okay, so now we'll come back to the ball, maybe later. I'm trying to decide now. I want to work on some side planks for you. So these are really important because you, again, if you have very independently, you're incredibly strong. It's the bringing the muscles together at the right time, and this is what will help your timing. So we're going to press down with the forearm, press down with the bottom leg, and I've just got my knees bent to start. So the forearm and the bottom leg are pushing down. That's going to activate the hips and the lower waist and hopefully your lat. So make sure your shoulder blade is sliding down the back. You have a nice long neck. So just hold this here for 10 counts. If you do not feel the stomach, I want you to pull in those pelvic floor muscles and feel as if your waist is really getting tight. Then breathe here. Waist, your abs are going to be at about a 3. Then as we'll extend the top leg, reset here. As the top leg extends, bottom leg is still pushing into the ground to lift because our focus here is the hip, the waist, and the lat. We're going to go a little slower. I was going kind of fast. Now, for an added bonus, we can push into that top foot, the instep of the foot. And this is going to help pull in the midline just a little more. Keep the whole hand pushing down. Let's do one more. Okay, let's switch to the other side. So we press down with the forearm, push down with the top leg, lift up, the bottom leg, lift up, activate the stomach. You want to make sure we're not just going through the motions. We're really feeling this thigh pushing down to activate this outer glute. All right, I'm going to extend the leg and press into the foot, the instep of the foot, to activate the inner thighs. The outside of this leg is pushing down. The outside of this forearm is pushing down to activate the lats. They're making a party going on the whole side of your body. 2 more. Awesome. So when you're doing this without me, Angelina, you can do about 10 of those. That's probably fine. So now we're coming to all fours. Feet are about hip socket distance apart. Let's take our hands and bring them forward of our shoulders. Turn the elbow creases forward for me. This puts your arm in the right position, which will help us get the muscles working. So we're not going to go anywhere. I want you to push the arms with effort and hold. Do not let your shoulders rise up, just to connect these muscles here. All right, now keep pushing and slide your hips back and then pull to come forward and push and pull. Now go slow, but keep that activation of the push and the pull throughout. And as you start to shift your hips back, it should feel quite nice in your lower back. 2 more. And you can do as many of these as you want. I would recommend probably 10 a couple times a day. All right, now I'm going to make this one a little harder by bringing the knees together. Turn this way so you can see a little bit better. So the knees are touching. Now, holding the hands about shoulder width apart, shoulder blades in your back pocket, elbow creases forward. We want to kind of press, and I don't have my shins down, so this is going to be a little challenging. Push your shins down into the floor if your feet will bend that way. What I mean by that is so that you're like this, pushing the shin into the floor, if you can. And I think you can. And then from here, we're going to extend one arm and then the other. Now, as we do this, I want you to go real slow so you can feel the abdominals connect when you shift the weight. When you shift the weight of your hands. And then the arm is going to move. Now we're going to do an upper body rotation. So keep your pelvis still. Pull your belly in and squeeze your thighs. And it's like a mini thread the needle. What I'm trying to do is get your shoulder blades to come away and hold and come back. So this isn't the full stretch that you see in yoga. What we're trying to do here is get that release in your rib cage, and we'll work more on thoracic rotation next week. But the last time I saw you, we had a little bit of stiffness there. Okay, so next what we do is the closer you make your knees, the harder it's going to be. We'll extend one arm and the opposite leg and hold it. The lat on the down hand is working. Now, you can slowly bring it out a few inches and back in. You have 10 of these. Push your shin, your foreleg, your shin into the ground. Let's just pretend I did 10. Might as well do 10. And I'm shaking. And we can make this harder next time, but let's just get to basics here. And the idea here is to get everything as still as possible and stable. So again, belly pulls in, extend the leg, abs in tight, shoulders down. And you can reach, you can even explore with the reaching. You don't have to put your shoulder blade in your back pocket, but you want to be able to stay stable here. And after about 10 seconds, we'll open and close. Now I'm not moving more than just a few inches. We're getting the legs working, we're getting the back working, we're getting the abs working, and that's the whole point. Get the muscles primed. We got 3 more. Okay, very good. Now let's open the knees a little bit wider, and we're going to sit back into child's pose. And I'd like you to do this anytime you need to. Anytime you feel like, oh, my back is really tight. This is not extension, this is just elongation. We're really just trying to do what we can to take the pressure out of your back. Take a few breaths there, and I dropped my ball. And then the final thing that I had you do, but we didn't exactly discuss completely, is another position for releasing the stomach muscles, because your abs are like an 8-pack. I mean, I see nice abs, but yours are incredible. And the thing is, you've worked so much on the rectus abdominis, the top muscles, that there are some other muscles that wrap around in different directions that are strong but could be stronger, and they would help balance that out. So that is why this is so painful for you, and it is painful. So that's why you have your ball. You'll take your ball and place it in 2 spots. First, it's going to be just below the belly button, and then afterwards, just above the belly, or at the belly button and slightly above, okay? And what we're going to do is lie on it. And the more you push, the harder the ball, the more intense this is going to be. So it doesn't have to be intense. So we're gonna rest on the ball and open your legs apart and let your legs fall inward. That internal rotation is really just going to help to open up this SI joint. You don't have a lot of room there because of some fusion, but that's okay. We're going to just do our best to get some blood flow in that area. So now what we're going to do is inhale into the ball and exhale. Tighten your stomach for a second. Inhale again. And then as you exhale, relax your belly and let the ball sink into your gut.
we're going to do that a little differently. So we inhale into the ball, hold your breath, and then tighten your stomach. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and exhale. And when I say tighten the stomach, I mean like you're bracing for a punch. You're really activating the muscles, and then you let them go. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Now this ball is big enough to pretty much go between your hip bones. If you had a smaller ball, or if somebody was doing this and the ball wasn't quite big enough to go through their whole pelvis, you can do one side and then the other. It'll be even more fun. Tighten the stomach and sink in. Very good. Now we're going to move it up just a little bit more. Now don't do this after breakfast or lunch. It won't feel good. Okay. And again, inhale here. Tighten the stomach. And exhale, sink into it. Tighten the stomach and sink into it. Now this one, Angelina, you can do any time of day. It's kind of nice after you've been working on your homework and schoolwork all day, just to take one of these little breaks. Now, the other thing we did with the ball, and I started to explain, we can put it underneath your waist. And after you've done a lot of side bends, and don't worry, I'm going to give you more abdominal work. This is just for this week. You don't even have to tighten it. You can just kind of rest. And because the ball's so soft, it feels wonderful at your ribs. You can place it under your arms. And I want you to explore areas, because sometimes the tissue will be tight in a specific area, and that is where we need it. You can place it even, one place if you're having issues breathing, is to put it underneath the chest and just kind of hang out there. Or you can place it on the back. You can put it on the hip, anything. It's totally up to you. So let's make that our homework, and I will see you in a few days. So this little workout I want you to do every day. So I know my video is long, I know it's boring, but just bear with me. We have a process. We will get there, and I will make things a little bit harder next week. So have an awesome Saturday, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Does that work?